Good morning, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the show. It's the Level 1 podcast, where we're busy having fun down here on Level 1. Today is Sunday, the 9th of July, 2023. Of course, I'm Darkside Phil, and I hope you're all having a great weekend. So far, so good here on my streams for the week. We are 2 days in, and today's starting the third day, and we're into a weird week for scheduling for sure. Today, by far, will be the weirdest day of the week, because today is actually a one-stream day for me, meaning we're going to be doing this Level 1 podcast followed by my weekly react show, DSP versus the Internet. Now, that show usually is on Saturday, but this week it's today over on my sister channel, DSP Reacts, immediately following this stream. In fact, if you're watching this live, when this stream goes offline, you will see a big pop-up that will say, hey, click here to go over to the other channel and watch the react show live, okay? And outside of that, that's all I'm doing today, stream-wise. I am still working tonight. I'm filming private react videos for my patrons for the month, which is going to take me a good chunk of tonight, and that's why I'm doing it that way. Then I'm back tomorrow in full force. Now, this weekend was kind of weird. It wasn't supposed to originally be scheduled like this, but as I've been telling you guys for the past few days, real life sometimes creeps up on you. Things happen. Extenuating circumstances. It's certainly not the first time. And quite frankly, as you know, as I've told you many times over the last several years, I've made an active and concerted effort to stop telling you guys about behind the scenes stuff of my private life that don't really affect the streams. You don't need to know every detail, every nuance about my life that's not related to what I'm going to be doing here with you on the internet. But sometimes stuff happens that does affect the schedule, in which case it sucks, but what are you going to do? And in some cases I can tell you what's going on, in some cases I can't. What's always hilarious is people essentially coming up with these crazy conspiracy theories about what could be going on. And they're always ridiculous and wrong. Like literally 99% of the time. You'll get, out of every 1,000 people who guess, one person got it right, and that's the person no one listens to. Seriously, it's really, in this case, it's something so mundane, not very interesting, although, admittedly, the backstory, I feel, is more interesting than what happened this week. So I'm going to reveal all this to you on today's podcast. I'm not kidding you. This very mundane, blasé story is what I'll be telling you today on the show as the meat of the show. Even though I don't think it's particularly interesting, people are just like dying to know what happened. So I'll tell you, it's not a big deal. All right. In fact, like I said, the backstory is more interesting than the actual what happened this week. But that'll be a story I'll tell you today. All right. But in addition to that, we've got some interesting stuff coming up, and here's why. Last night, I finished Diablo 4, which a lot of people were insisting I couldn't do. I don't know why. I was literally at the end of the game. There was one final segment to do, and then the final boss. I don't know why people thought I wasn't going to beat it, but I easily did. And then, that opened up the possibility of what's next. And I kind of thought a little bit about this overnight. And what I'd like to do is discuss with you some ideas that I have of what I'd like to do next on the channel, because now we have some opened streams, right? Excuse me. So we'll see. We'll see what you guys think as I run these ideas by you. In addition, I have another thing to talk about. Since my schedule has shifted these last few weeks, and my day off is no longer Wednesday but Thursday, all right? And that is the same thing for this week and maybe moving forward. We'll see. And in addition to that, well, let me put it this way. As a result of that, it already kind of shifted my schedule, all right? And here's what's been happening for me. I come back from my break, my day off, which is a Thursday. I come back Friday, and we play Street Fighter all day, Street Fighter 6, which is great. Street Fighter Fridays, so far, I really enjoy doing it. Sometimes I pick a new character. Sometimes I focus on a character I want to improve with. It's been going really well. People like Street Fighter on Fridays. But then my React show has been every Saturday. So now it's like Street Fighter all day Friday, reacting on Saturday. I don't even get a chance to play like a mainline playthrough till Sunday. And that's halfway into my streaming week. And I do feel that some people, legitimately so, are kind of annoyed at that and saying, listen, we like the fact that you're a variety streamer, but why don't you get to the variety till Sunday when, we want to see other games than Street Fighter, and the React stuff is on another channel. When are you going to get back to the other games? It's a fair point. Again, when we were in a situation where my day off was Wednesday, usually we'd have 1 to 2 days of variety gameplay before I did my React show on Saturday, so it didn't really matter, Saturday was like the middle of the week. Now Saturday is way earlier in the week for me, okay? So, for me, I'm looking at the situation, and this week, my React show got bumped to Sunday. And I'm almost thinking in my head, maybe we should keep the React show on Sunday. Because if my day off is going to be Thursday, that means that Friday would be Street Fighter Day. Saturday would be a standard full gameplay day of variety that's not Street Fighter. And then Sunday would be the React day. And then we could get full speed into the rest of the week. I think it might make more sense. Keep in mind that Sunday nights I will be streaming. It's just that once a month I don't, to do my private Patreon React videos. I kind of, I need the time to film those. But outside of that, every other Sunday I'm filming full time. Now, if that's the idea and people say, oh, this sounds good, we should do the React show on Sundays, I'm all for that. But this will now change my special events, because my special events have been on Sundays. Meaning, for example, we just did the DSP's DSP or Digital Summer Party last Sunday. I know it was a week ago. It doesn't feel like a week ago, does it? It was a whole week ago when we did it. We did the Fight and Feast event before the launch of Street Fighter 6, right? We did my Super Bowl event earlier this year. We did several long-form React events, reacting to the Pro Jared documentary, the Second Wings of Redemption documentary, and then the Internet Historian YouTube channel. All those events were held on Sundays. Well, we would have to move those now to Saturdays, okay? That's what I'm thinking. If that's okay, then I think what we should do is, yes, we should have the React show every Sunday, because that'll give us 2 days of gameplay before we get to a breakup of the schedule with a React event. All right, so that's what I'm thinking. I mean, you guys tell me what you think. Does that sound good to you? If that's the case, then DSP versus the Internet will be every Sunday on DSP React, and the special events will be Saturdays. And some people are like, why not Monday? Monday is a day typically when less people can tune in. So I don't want to ever do a special event on a Monday. It wouldn't make sense. Special events should be saved for Saturdays or Sundays. Those are typically the days most people are off of school or work statistically. Lets more people attend a special event. Makes more sense to do them then. Yes? People are saying thumbs up, this sounds good. Yeah? Okay. Ellipsian says, if you're going to have an event Saturday and Sunday, then on Fridays do Friday night Street Fighter only, don't do it all day Friday. I mean, that's a fair point, too. Maybe do a different stream during the day. Friday night fights, special event Saturday, react show Sunday, gaming stream Sunday night, and then variety on Monday. Probably go back to Street Fighter. Yeah, okay. All right, so the feedback I'm getting is to have DSP versus the internet on Sundays instead of Saturdays. Fair enough. All right, I'm going to take in your feedback. I'm also going to bring this up on the show, obviously. Right after we finish this podcast, we'll head over to DSP Reacts. We'll talk about this on that show and see how people on that channel feel as well. Of course, many of you will be over there, but there will be some people over there who aren't on the show today on the podcast. I'd like to get their feedback too. Okay, there you go. All right, so that sounds good to me. If that's the case, the schedule will change a little bit for the month, which I'm going to talk about, because our special event at the end of the month was going to be on Sunday the 30th, but it sounds like we'll now change it to Saturday the 29th, which I'm totally okay with. So, okay. All right. Ladies and gents, let's talk. Let's get caught up on everything, shall we? Let's talk all about what happened yesterday. Let's get the schedule out there. Then I'll tell my story about why I had to change the schedule for the week, and then we'll go from there, okay? No pressure today. No crazy time constraints or anything. We're good, right? I don't have to rush the podcast. We can have a good time today. Okay. So, what's going on? Well, Friday all day we played Street Fighter. Had a great day with Blanca. Hit my 1,000th win. Ranked up twice in Diamond. If you want the full story on that, yesterday's podcast pretty much covers it. I'm really not going to be talking about Street Fighter today. I don't see the point. We covered it all thoroughly yesterday. But yesterday was the day when my schedule was different because I was going to have this interruption on the stream. And because of that, I wanted to have it be gameplay yesterday rather than the react show. I can't interrupt the react show because, simply put, the react show has to go down the entire stream. I've promised channel members who are literally paying to get their videos watched that I would watch their videos. If the stream's interrupted, then I'm not living up to my promises. So that's actually why we moved everything around, okay? So, let us go ahead and discuss what I did do yesterday. We had a shortened stream of Final Fantasy 16. My usual streams are 3+ hours long, but because I had this interruption before the gameplay, all right, which took about an hour to an hour and a half. I believe the interruption started around like 12:30, and I got back to stream just before 2 p.m. Pacific time, okay? We did 2 hours of Final Fantasy 16. We're now heading into the real meat of the game. Previous, it was almost like all intro. Now we've passed the intro segment, the 5-year time jump, and we're in the meat of the game. We unlocked a chocobo mount, which was really nice. Now we can move around faster in these open world areas. By the way, I'm just going to get rid of these people right now. I really am. Like, I've had it. People are going to sit here and try to derail my podcast and say negative stuff, and they know that they're just trying to piss me off, and I'm done with them. So they're out of here. Okay. Continuing on. So, 2 hours of Final Fantasy 16. We got the chocobo mount, which was nice. All right? It was nice to be able to move around faster. You can use the chocobo in combat, but it doesn't count. Meaning, like, you can stomp the crap out of enemies, and they can't really do much about it, but then you don't get experience. When you beat them up, they run away, and you don't get experience for it. You have to dismount the chocobo to actually fight, which I guess is fair. And it's nice that you can actually move faster around the map rather than just being on foot constantly. That was pretty good. Outside of that, not much happened. We got a little bit of plot development. I would say 1 to 2 major plot points happened. You found out what's going on with Clive's mother, and then you found out what's going on with some people from the beginning of the game. And that's about it. So in 2 hours, literally probably 30 minutes of progress. But again, that's the pacing of this game. It's incredibly slow. It's like a dribble of water down a wall. You know what I mean? It's like a drizzle. You're hoping when you play a game, you're going to get like a good amount of progress. And with this game, it's like they're so slow. I don't even know how else to say it. It's like molasses, right? But I did have a good time. People seem to have a good time. At least we got to play. Okay. Last night, Diablo 4. It went well. You know, we had basically the final area of the dungeons to complete. There's like a boss gauntlet where you have to refight bosses from earlier in the game. And at this point, they're very easy compared to, you know, earlier in the game. It's not like they have any new abilities or anything. They're pretty much the same as they were. And then you basically fight, you know, the final boss, and that's it. Now, there's a little bit of post-game story, but then everything else after that is essentially just, you know, combat and or optional missions, which, of course, everyone says is fun to do. But for me, being that I've been playing over a month of straight RPGs besides Street Fighter 6, I need to break up my schedule. And after completing the story, the credits rolled. We saw the official end of it. The achievement popped. That's enough for me. After 22 hours of Diablo 4, it was a great playthrough. I enjoyed the story, and that's where I'm wrapping it up for now. Now, I'm well aware that there's going to be other content for this game. People have already talked about their seasonal content and things in the future. Will I consider doing it? I'll consider it. It really depends on the amount of demand that I get, but I can read my audience. And right now, my audience is telling me, enough with the RPGs. You're playing 3 of them. We've had enough. Finish up what you can, right? We want more variety on the streams. I hear you. So I'm doing my best to wrap up RPGs and not say, oh, by the way, here's more RPG content coming. No, no, no. That's the opposite of what I want to do right now. I want to create variety if I can on the streams. So it's great we beat the story. I feel I'm going to move on now. If I go back to Diablo 4 in the future, so be it. We'll see if you guys want it. I'm well aware. There's a capstone dungeon that unlocked. Oh my God, you could go to World Tier 2. Did you know that Season 2 launches July 20th? Yeah, I know all about it. I know all about it. I know all about the repetitive nature of the addictive gameplay of Diablo 4. And right now, it's not something my audience wants. I'm just aware of that. There's people who love Diablo who want to see it, and it's a very small niche audience. It's not a giant grouping. People want variety. People are tired of the same thing for the entire month. I'm with you. Let's move on and do more variety, okay? So, Diablo 4, the story-based playthrough is complete. We may or may not return to it in the future. Let's see what happens based on your opinions and feedback. But for now, thanks for watching. Great playthrough. I actually liked the ending, although the ending is open-ended and the ending, you know, isn't definitive. That's what Diablo's known for. It kind of ended in a similar way that I thought it would, where there's no real good resolution. There's no the heroes win feeling. You know what I mean? You're not expecting that from a game like Diablo. Diablo's kind of depressing in reality, right? It's always been like that. So there you go. So I'm happy we finished that stuff up. Now, let's talk about the schedule for the rest of the week. Today, it's the Level 1 podcast here, and then after this, we're going to swing over to my sister channel, DSP Reacts, for DSP versus the Internet, my 3-hour Clips React show. How does it work? Channel members over there of various levels nominate clips. If they're Ultra members, meaning they're the highest tier of supporter over there, their videos are guaranteed to be watched once a week. If they are standard channel members, well, all those nominations get thrown into a randomized, shuffled playlist on YouTube, and we watch them in random order as time permits. This week, we have 10 Ultra submissions and 44 member submissions. So, are we going to watch 54 videos today? No. There's no way we're going to get through 54 videos. But we will undoubtedly get through all the member submissions, or excuse me, all the Ultra submissions. And, you know, we'll see who gets in there for the fun, randomized playlist. And, you know, that's the thing. You never know what you're going to get. You know, as I'm adding these things to the playlist I'm watching, I'm like, dude, this is like the biggest chaotic variety. You've got weird memeable videos. You've got documentaries. You've got interesting countdowns. You've got all kinds of stuff in there. And it's just like, I've gotten to the point where I don't even try to look for a theme. It's just, I'll just add it, and as long as it's not something that's like adult rated or whatever, it's all fair game. So we'll see what happens tonight, or today, I guess we should say, in the randomized playlist. It's always an interesting time, right? Okay. That's my one stream for today. After that, we're done. There's no late stream tonight because I have to film private React videos for my patrons. If you don't know what that means, I do have a Patreon. It's at patreon.com/DarksidePhil. I rarely advertise it. I almost never talk about it. Essentially what it is, it's a legacy way to support my content if you're someone who does not care about my streams. There are people who still regularly watch my content here on this channel and even over on DSP Reacts, but they're exclusively on-demand watchers. They only watch the videos that are archived. They never attend the live streams, okay? Those people say, well, I don't care about doing a contribution during a live stream to support Phil because, you know, I'm not on the stream. But what I can do is I can pledge to his Patreon. And if I pledge to his Patreon, then, that's something that's ongoing support for him, but I get something out of it because each pledge level gets something different. Well, at the $50 pledge level, you're guaranteed to get a private video. Now, the video could be anything. It could be me sitting here answering your personal questions for 25 minutes. I've done that before, like a big private Q&A where it's just like a conversation between us, okay? That used to be actually very popular until I became an interactive streamer, and then people were like, well, we ask you questions all the time, so why do we need that video anymore? Fair enough. So what's become increasingly popular over the last year are private react videos, where someone wants to see me react to something that they wouldn't necessarily get to actually see me react in full to on one of my special streams here on the React channel. So they say, hey, I want to see that private, 25 plus minute video reacted to. So I'll throw Phil $50 as a pledge on his Patreon and he'll make a video for me. So this has been interesting because I've done all kinds of videos over the last year. I've watched documentaries. I've watched things about K-pop. I've watched tourism videos, comedy videos, music videos, social commentary videos, things about the human condition. I've watched probably like wild things out there that I would have ever thought anyone would have cared about my thoughts about, okay? So the private react videos have done well. They've died down now. It's been a year, and doing them for about a year at first, they weren't popular, then they got really popular. Now they're kind of back down to where they started again, which is fine, because it's good. I don't need a ridiculous amount of time off from my streams to fill them all. But at the same time, if it's something you're interested in, maybe you have a video or a topic you've always wanted me to talk about or react to, and you never see me do it, and you want to see me do it at length. That's really the key here, because I'll give you an example. Today I'm going to be reacting to a ton of videos on my show, but I'm only going to be reacting to each one for a few minutes. Being that it's a show that I have to keep moving for variety. It's a 3-hour variety show of clips. That's exactly what it is, a clips show. I'm not going to be watching a 25-minute video and reacting to it. In fact, I keep telling people this. It's a clip show, and if you submit a 25-minute video, I'm not watching it. I'll end up skimming through it, but I'm not going to watch your 25-minute video. It's never going to happen on my weekly show. If you want that, go to my Patreon, pledge there, get a private video, then I'll do it in full. It's a guarantee, okay? So anyway, I'm doing that tonight. That's why I can't stream tonight. I got to get those videos done for the month, all right? So today, it's just this stream, and then the React show over on DSP Reacts. Now, that being said, if you guys enjoy my content of any kind and could support it either during this pre-stream or over on the DSP Reacts channel for the live show, that would be amazing, because yesterday, admittedly, support was all over the place because my schedule was screwed up. Number one, I was playing Final Fantasy 16, which is my least attended streams that I'm doing right now. I'm not even kidding you. Right now on this podcast, I have over 100 more people watching this podcast than was watching my playthrough of Final Fantasy 16 yesterday. The interest in that game has completely fizzled out because of the way they designed it. It's sad. It doesn't retain interest because it's so boring with the insane amount of cutscenes and dialogue. They basically killed their own game for anyone looking for action or something interesting. It's only for people who like long-winded stories. So, yesterday was not a great day for support. Just being honest. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that was matter of fact. Today, I'm only doing one half of the day. So I know this is a kind of a slow weekend for me. If you would like to support, please do. There's so many ways you can support the streams. Liking them. All right? Super chats or super stickers. Memberships or gifted memberships to the community, which are great because not only do those benefit me, that benefits everyone else here. People getting gifted memberships are usually very appreciative. And, we have hundreds of people waiting in the wings for a gifted membership right now. So please consider it. And then, of course, tipping directly is an awesome way to support the channel. It's the way that I get the most of anything from. It's true. I just get more of a tip than anything else of any other kind of contribution. So thank you to anyone who contributes in any way today. And if you do, as you know, I'll give you a live shout out. I do have a couple people who've already contributed. I will give you a shout out in the final segment of this show as we usually do. Okay? Thank you in advance. Please support if you can. That way it's not a completely dead weekend. Thank you. All right. Tomorrow we go back to full-time gaming. In the morning we'll have the podcast. Then it'll be Street Fighter 6. Now here's what I need your feedback on. There's two characters that I wish to play with this week. Lily and Marisa. Both are characters who I used in Street Fighter 6 previously in ranked gameplay. Both of them I did decently with. Not great, but decently with. But I haven't used either of them in ranked gameplay in a while now. So that means that when I jump back into things, basically everyone else who's playing will have leveled up, and I didn't level up with these characters, okay? What I'm going to do tonight, I will research and I will research, hey, either Lily or Marisa, and watch high-level videos of either character, so that way I can get better and maybe employ these techniques in my gameplay tomorrow. But the question is, would you rather see Lily or Marisa on Monday? I need that answer so I know what videos to watch, all right? So if you could give me some guidance over the course of this pre-stream podcast / level 1 podcast, and if you could also during this, the reaction, let me know what would you like to see tomorrow, okay? So, yeah, please let me know what you would like. Do you want Lily or do you want Marisa? Share your thoughts, and I will make that decision by the end of today, and that way I can announce, what I want to do, and go from there. All right, so that way I know what to watch tonight. I really need to be able to watch a certain style of video. So, all right. That's tomorrow's main stream. All ranked gameplay with one of those two characters. And then tomorrow night's late stream will be a continuation of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We are in the final dungeon of the game. We've already completed the first half, but people are saying it's harder the further in you get. So we'll see. Tomorrow we'll get there and we'll try to continue on with this final dungeon. And maybe I can beat it on the late stream. And if I do, basically what's left is the trek to Ganon and then the fight with Ganon. So we'll see how it goes. Progress-wise tomorrow night. Likely I'm not beating the game tomorrow night. I don't need to beat the game tomorrow night. That's fine. We're in no big rush. That's a good thing. So we'll take our time and enjoy the end game segments. All right? Then, daytime stream on Tuesday will be Final Fantasy 16. And this time we will not be interrupted. I'll be doing the entire stream will be Final Fantasy 16. And hopefully we'll make some good progress in the game. And by the way, this will definitively help me to decide if this is something that I want to do as a full-time playthrough. Because at this point, I'm like 16, 17, actually, I'm about 17 hours into the game, and people are literally telling me the game is boring, don't play it. And I'm like, I invested $70 in 17 hours. Wait a minute. I am 17 hours into the game. Okay, I misread. I'm 17 hours in. That's like, dude, that was a lot of investment just to be told, oh, by the way, the game is boring. It sucks. Because I really do feel like this Final Fantasy game is so different from the things they've done previously that it did actually lose a lot of their audience. It just seems that way to me, Usually when I play a Final Fantasy game, there's demand. There seems to be all the demand has died for this game in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks of me playing it, most people are like, just do something else. That's sad. I spent money on it. There's time invested, and, I'm hoping that it gets good. And there are good parts. The parts that are good are very good. It just sucks that they made it such a dialogue-heavy, slowly paced, boringly written game that you sit here bored. And I literally have to make fun of the game in order to, keep people interested. Because if I don't, everyone will go to sleep. But I guess we'll see. We're going to play it again on Tuesday, and we'll see by the end of Tuesday's stream. We'll make a determination. Okay? Tuesday night, I would like, since we beat Diablo, now we have an open stream this week. I don't want to start anything new yet. What we should do, I want to do a late night stream of the World Tour mode of Street Fighter 6. For those who don't know, Street Fighter 6, of course, is focused primarily on competition. But there is a single-player World Tour mode that's meant to be the campaign of the game where you create your own character. It's your own avatar that you make. You level that character up. You give it special moves. You give it new techniques. You run around in an open world exploring, looking for items, but also fighting random people in the streets, sometimes mini-bosses. It's kind of fun. I played it for 3 hours last month, and I absolutely liked it a lot. But I never went back to it. We were so busy with the competitive nature of the game, and then we were so busy with these other RPGs, I never got back to it. So I would like to do a late-night stream of Street Fighter 6 just to try it and see if, you guys like it as a late-night chill stream. The thing is, playing it benefits me. Here's why. When you play the game and you master certain characters, you unlock their alternate outfits in the game for free. You don't have to spend coins or it's just play through the campaign, earn these alternate outfits completely for free. So, for example, with Luke, I'm going to be using Luke eventually. I haven't gotten his outfit yet. If I just play a little bit more of this story mode, I'll unlock his outfit for free. So, it kind of makes sense to do it. Let's try it out Tuesday night and see how it goes. 2 hours of cool World Tour mode, all right? Then on Wednesday, it'll be another multiplayer stream of Street Fighter 6, And basically, I will play whoever I didn't play on Monday. So if I play Lily on Monday, it'll be Marisa on Wednesday. If I play Marisa on Wednesday, it'll be Lily on Monday. We'll flip them, okay? And then Wednesday night will be the likely conclusion of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I don't foresee myself taking more than another 4 hours to beat the game when I'm in the final dungeon and the home stretch court push to Ganon. I think we're going to wrap it up this week. And if that's the case, that's good, because that means all the night streams moving forward for July can be new content. All right? Now, I have a few ideas. Now, by the way, just so you know, Thursday's my day off. When we come back Friday, it's Street Fighter Friday. Street Fighter all day long. Saturday, we'll do gameplay of something, whether it's Final Fantasy 16 or not, I don't know. And we'll see what we want to do Saturday night, because we're now open. And that means DSP versus the Internet will be Sunday. We'll have that React show now every Sunday. Okay? But, what was I going to say? Oh, so now that we're completing all these games, we have options. And one of the things I absolutely, positively, 100% have decided I want to do this month, starting next week, is a game that I wanted to play 2 months ago, but then it got delayed. Then it came out during one of arguably the busiest gaming times of the year, which is incredibly stupid, because when it came out, no one talked about it. It was like, you know, a fart in the wind, or a drop in a bucket. Like, you're not going to know about it when it's surrounded by everything else that's way more hype. The game of the game is Amnesia the Bunker. It actually came out on Game Pass. It's the newest installment in the Amnesia franchise. And even though it got rated well and people who played it love it, there's little to no hype about it. People act like it never existed, which is sad, because the Amnesia series is pretty good. You know, I actually really liked the last one. I forgot what it was called, but I actually really liked the last Amnesia game. And it's a shame that no one even is talking about this one. So I want to play it. It's horror, it's survival, it's suspenseful, it'll be interesting. It'll definitely break up the content for variety purposes, getting away from RPGs and fighting games. It'll be something completely different for variety. So starting next week, that'll be a game that I'm going to be playing on the late streams, okay? So that's going to be one of the late night things balanced, all right? And like I said, we'll probably try some World Tour Street Fighter 6 this week and see how it goes. If it goes well, maybe we'll get it into the rotation for late night streams. If it doesn't, if people are bored of it, well, maybe we won't. Or maybe we'll only do it once a week, and we'll have other stuff balanced with Amnesia. Because there's many options of things we can do. We can bring back Elden Ring into the fold. We could try something new and different. Hell, for just variety purposes, we could do a couple retro games for the summertime. Let's see. Let's see what we feel like doing. But the good news is, once the RPGs are done, once Zelda is completed, we have all freed up night streams to do variety again, which is we're sorely lacking. We need variety here on DSP Gaming, and it's coming back next week, okay? Okay, now, the one other thing I want to talk about coming up later this month is a special long-form React event. I have not done a long-form React event in many months, but they return this month with the Dark Side of Machinima event. This will now be on Saturday, July 29th. It'll be an all-day event over on DSP Reacts exclusively. What this is going to be is something very special. First of all, there's a documentary made on the rise and fall of Machinima by June the King, someone who I've reacted to his documentaries many times over the last year. We're going to react live to that documentary. It's about 50 minutes long, but being that I was one of the longest running partners of Machinima, over 6 years I was with this company, I'm absolutely sure I'm going to be able to add context, experience, and many stories into my reacting to that documentary. So that's first and foremost. But in addition to that, I'm going to add in my own stories and context separate from that, because as a partner with them for 6 years, I have a lot to talk about. You know, my initial contract negotiations with them, how they decided out of the blue to renegotiate contracts multiple times with zero warning and zero wiggle room, by the way, how they essentially kind of forced me to make separate channels, but then basically made it so that it made no sense to have the separate channels, which is really stupid and weird. How at one moment they were like my favorite, or I was their favorite content creator. They were kissing my butt. They wanted to fly me out to events and things like that. And then literally overnight, they canceled all those initiatives and acted like they never existed and wanted nothing to do with me. How they actually worked with me with Project 7. Yes, when I was in development of Project 7, I was constantly speaking with Machinima about it. How we were developing this show, how it was going to be an interesting web series, and how Machinima had an agreement with me to actually release this series, which then fell through, and then they had it go on another completely different channel that didn't work. I have all these stories to tell in regards to being a longtime partner with Machinima. Some of the most interesting ones actually are in regards to when I had my channel hit with false copyright strikes, and how Machinima worked with YouTube, and essentially what they told me to do screwed over DSPGaming irrevocably. It's one of the reasons why I lost so much viewership over the years. It really is. And we'll talk all about this. So, I mean, there's going to be so much to talk about. I've got swag from being part of the company. I could show you on stream and everything. I've got so much to talk about. So this is going to be a day-long event, Saturday, July 29th, exclusively on DSP Reacts. There's going to be the live react to the documentary. There's going to be me telling my own private stories, all kinds of stuff. Likely, I'll also order some food. We'll have a Feasting with Phil mukbang episode, or however you want to call it. It'll be a good day-long event, and it'll be a good mix of content. It'll be breaking stuff up, which we need more React content. I haven't done a lot of focus on the React stuff in a while, so that's coming up later this month. So I hope you mark your calendars. Saturday, July 29, the Dark Side of Machinima event over on DSP React. Sound good? I hope so. Now, one other thing. I told you guys that this month I was going to be doing some movie reviews again. I am, starting with this week, because, ladies and gentlemen, I will be reviewing, get this, the Super Mario Brothers movie. Yes, the movie that you wanted me to see in theaters 3 months ago and I didn't, is finally available everywhere. I have been gifted a code to watch this. So I'm going to be watching the movie, and I'll be reviewing it either Tuesday night or Wednesday night, but one of those nights this week, I'll be reviewing the movie and posting my thoughts up over on DSP React. So that'll be an extra video for this week, later on in the week, before the end of my streaming week, okay? So that's coming. Now, I don't even know what I'm going to think, because I really don't know that much about it. I didn't see it. I've heard people said it was really good. Others were like, nah, it was just okay. I mean, it is one of the highest grossing animated movies of all time. So it should be interesting to see, you know, firsthand what everyone else has seen and finally give my thoughts, okay? So that is coming this week. Additional reviews this month. I'm actually planning on reviewing the Dungeons & Dragons movie, which I also was digitally gifted by a viewer. Thank you to the viewer who did that. And then outside of that, I may even do more. It all depends on timing. But I definitely want to review those 2 movies this month for you guys. All right? So those movie reviews are coming over on DSP Reacts. Expect them. Mario movie coming first later this week. Okay? All right. Well, guys, that's really all I have to talk about today, schedule-wise, and stuff coming up. Now we can move on to the story that many people want to hear. You people all up in my business. And again, I have literally done the absolute maximum I can do to separate my personal life from my public life. Things that go on behind the scenes here that have nothing to do with the streams, simply put, have nothing to do with the streams. Now, if it's something that's you know, social and not harmful, for example, you want to know what my wife's, you know, making today for dinner or something like that, I'm more than happy to share those stories with you. Or tell you what I did on my day off and it's not intrusive to my private life, I'll tell you, right? But for the most part, I don't want to tell you about stuff going on behind the scenes, because sadly, I have a group of thousands of stalkers on the internet who all have messed up brains. Sorry, it's just true. These people obsess with me so much that they absolutely try to get every single piece of information they possibly can to basically hurt me. I'll give you an example. Are you ready? So yesterday on my stream, I received the phone call about this interruption that I needed to have on my stream. I went off of this screen and I went to this screen right here, but it was open like this. And I picked up my phone in my hand like this and I answered it. And as I was lifting my phone up to my head like this to answer it, for a brief second right here on the screen, it showed my phone screen. These fucking obsessed nut jobs, I'm not kidding you, tried to enhance the phone screen to see what it said in an attempt to try to figure out and contact whoever this was on the phone. I'm not kidding you. They actually posted it up on Twitter. They said, oh, we really tried to enhance the visuals of his phone that he accidentally had in the corner of his screen, but we couldn't get it clear enough to figure out who he was talking about on the phone. Sorry about that. They posted it publicly. Do you not understand that when you do that, you show that you're fucking crazy? Do you not understand that? I mean, if you don't, you literally should immediately go speak to a doctor. You're nuts. This is not your life. This is not your business. If it were, then it would make sense. This has nothing to do with you. Why would you try to enhance my fucking phone screen to figure out who I'm talking to on the phone? And the worst part about it is, I told everyone that today I was going to tell you the story of what's going on. I promised you were going to find out. So why would you then try to do that? Because you're fucking crazy. You get it? Get help. That's not normal behavior of any human on this planet. That's obsessive behavior. That is what crazy people do. This is why people get restraining orders. Because people are nuts. It's absolutely out of control the amount of stalking these people are trying to do. Where's the Michael Jordan gif?
Stop it. Get some help.
I completely forgot we had it. Thank you for reminding me. It's been months since I played that. So, if anything, please let this be a wake-up call. If you see someone on the internet who's obsessing about me like that, do me a favor. Tell them to get help. No, I mean it now. They need help. These people need to... Don't give them attention. Don't watch their garbage content on the internet, which they try to put up as news. Instead, tell them to seek help. Stop with the nonsense. You need help. You shouldn't be obsessing over some random person on the internet who puts out gameplay videos. You should seek help. There's absolutely no circumstance where someone should be trying to figure out who is on my phone. It's not your business. It's none of your fucking business. You shouldn't be doing that. You are messed up and you need help. Okay? So, I mean it now. These people need to be called out. These people need to be brought attention to, that these are destructive people on the internet that need to be stopped. It's to the point where now I know at any moment, anything I do, they're trying to hurt me. So it's time to end it. It's time to actually call it what it is, madness. This is not conscious, intelligent thought. This is obsession. This is to the point of pain and suffering for everyone around them. If they have friends or family members, they need to intervene. This needs to happen. This is a serious discussion now. This is not, oh, I'm joking around because I'm trying to stick it to my haters. No, there's people who don't like me, and they'll laugh at my mistakes, and, you know, they'll watch me play Street Fighter 6, they'll laugh at my rage and how I go crazy. There's a difference between that and, can we analyze what's on Phil's phone so we can contact the party on the other end and try to harass them? No, that's insanity. That has to end. We have to draw the line as people with moral compasses inside of us and conscious thought and more intelligence. There's a difference between making fun of someone for their shortcomings on the internet or actually trying to harass and ruin their lives. That has to end, all right? So I'm calling it publicly now. People need to step up and speak up against it. You're the ones, I don't even know about it. People come to me and say, Phil, are you aware these nut jobs are doing this? No, I'm not, because I don't pay attention to it. But now it's time to call it out. We shouldn't be allowing to do that. Why are people allowed to just do this stalking on the internet? Again, if this were real life, you get a restraining order, but because it's the internet, it's all okay, right? No, it's not. It's enough is enough. Stop the madness, okay? Now, let us now continue on logically, because the thing is, again, I never would share with you stuff about my private life unless it's necessary. In this case, my weekend got thrown into disarray because of this. I don't really have to share with you what's going on, but I can. It's not a big deal. It's something that's already been ongoing in my life over the years. It's affected things. It's a really stupid story. It's mundane. It's not very interesting. I would say the actual backstory is more interesting than the current story of what happened this week. All right? So here, I'm going to tell you the backstory first. Then I'll get to what happened this weekend and why I had to change my schedule. All right? So the backstory is more interesting. I'll tell you the more interesting story first. Here it goes. Ready? 9 years ago, I moved here to Washington State, to this home, and a lot of things were set up properly and a lot of things were not. When I moved into the house, some things had not had maintenance in over a decade, which is ridiculous. How do you maintain a house without doing maintenance on the appliances and on the furnace and shit like that? You know, you guys know, if you watch those early moving vlogs, you'll see the house was in disarray. It was a mess. There was shit all over the place that shouldn't have been there. I had a leaky roof. It was a big mess, right? Well, one of the things that was in the house when I moved in was obviously all the plumbing and stuff. And sadly, over the years, I have had a lot of issues with plumbing and things in the house that have crept up. The shower has had issues. I have a shower I don't even use. I can't use it. It's all messed up, and it's going to take tons of money to renovate that bathroom to get it to work again because it was all leaking and rusted up, and it's not worth discussing because that's actually not the issue today. I'm just saying this house has had many problems since I moved in, but it's the same as any house. Houses need maintenance. If you don't maintain them, they have problems. The previous owners did not do good maintenance on this house, leading to tons of problems that I've encountered in the last decade. Okay, so one of the problems that I had was with this stupid sink that I have, and allow me to explain why this is so important. Okay, I live in the state of Washington. The state of Washington is considered a green state. What that means is that everything we do is monitored for environmental reasons. Okay? We have very strict limits on things that we are allowed to do. We have to recycle. We have to do, what do they call it? I can't even remember what it's called. It's a special garbage can that we have, that we're supposed to put biodegradable materials in, like food waste, yard waste, and stuff. And we have to put it at the end of our street every week to come get picked up. It's weird, because when I lived in Connecticut, none of this shit was important or existed. But here it's like just mandatory. Everyone's been doing it forever, okay? So when I moved here, it's called compost. That's what people are saying. I forgot what it's called. It's called composting. That's correct. When I moved here, I was told there's very strict guidelines. Get this. You get 1 can of trash that you can throw out every 2 weeks. 1 can of trash per household every 2 weeks. So if you have pets, if you have kids, if you have anything that generates any kind of trash, you're pretty fucked. All right? If you have more trash than that, you have to go to the dump and pay to throw it out yourself and drive it there yourself. That's it. Now, they say, well, you're not supposed to throw out any recyclables. You wash them, you separate them, you put them into another bin, and those get picked up separately. Okay. How many of those do you get? 1 bin every 2 weeks. Okay? So with all these strict regulations being a green state, something that's actually absolutely essential for living here is to have a food waste or garbage disposal in your sink. You need it because every time that you wash plates, every time that you make a meal, you can't throw food out. It's not even allowed. You're supposed to either compost it or grind it up and wash it down the drain. All right? That's what you're supposed to do here in Washington State. It's like known by everyone here. Everyone here has one. Okay? I never had one back in Connecticut. I never had a use for it. So when I moved out here, it was my first time using it. And, you know, you do wrong things, you clog the goddamn thing up. But about 3 years ago, all right, in 2020, this was when COVID was starting, all of a sudden one day, my garbage disposal, food disposal, starts to smoke. There's just smoke coming out of it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So I look, it's not working, and I'm like, dude, if it smokes, there's no way I'm going to try to use this thing. I got to call a plumber. What else am I going to do? Right? So I called a plumber, you know, and the thing is, I never had a plumber come out here before. So I didn't know what I was doing, and I just picked any old one off the internet. So I call a plumber, and the guy shows up. And when the guy shows up, immediately I notice something. He's just like a normal guy. He's not wearing any kind of like an outfit or anything that says, oh, I work for a plumbing company. He's just a guy. Yeah, I'm here for the company or whatever. All right. So he comes in, and he looks at this disposal unit, and he goes, yeah, basically, it's fried. I was like, well, why did it fry? I didn't do anything. He's like, nah, it just happens. He's like, it just happens with these things. He's like, and you don't have like a high-end unit. You have what's considered a mid to lower range unit. So the previous homeowners put in a piece of crap garbage disposal in this house, basically. And he goes, well, these things are expensive, so I'm going to give you a quote, and here's your quote, and all I'm going to do, I can replace it with exactly the same unit, but this one should last a while. You'll get a year warranty with us as the company, but then you'll also get like a 5-year warranty with the manufacturer. All right. So he quotes me. It's very expensive. All right. I'm not happy with the price, but I need it. Like, this is something essential. If I don't have this, I'm going to be stuck with fucking tons of food waste that I need to shove into a composter every week, or I'm going to have to go to the dump myself constantly. I need this thing. Everyone here needs one. So, all right, I'll just go with it. All right. Now, immediately, I should have seen some red flags, but again, this is the middle of COVID and everything's going on. I'm not doing research. Everyone's all stressed out to wit's end, right? Immediately, one of the things that I should have noted, he says, well, here's the thing. I'm just going to give you a new unit of the same one you had, but everything should still work. Like the ring and the thing to install it in your sink, it still works. I'll leave that. The piping, well, it's the same piping. I don't have to change the piping at all because it's the same thing. So I'll just leave everything there. I'll just replace the unit. Okay? That was stupid. I should have demanded that he give me full service, but I didn't. Because come to find out, he charged me full price as if I was actually having everything completely replaced. He didn't do any of that work. All he did was pull the broken unit off, put the new unit on, and charge me as if he had done all that labor, which he didn't do. He was gone in 20 minutes when he should have been here like an hour and a half doing the work. That's on me. 100%. I should have asked for the service I was paying for. I didn't get it because I was ignorant. That's on me. All right? So literally it was a swap of a unit. He just swapped out the unit. Done. Okay? So, we got a new garbage disposal / food waste disposal. All right? This was early 2020 when this happened. Okay? Within 1 week of the new disposal being replaced, it's leaking all over the place. Every time I turn it on, it's spraying food and water all over into the bottom of my sink, into the cabinet underneath. And I'm like, what the fuck? Obviously, something's wrong here. So I call the company. I say, listen, you just had this guy come out here. I need you to come back here and figure this out. I just paid a lot of money. All right, he'll be out. So he came out within a couple of days. Once again, couldn't use my thing for days. He comes out. Same guy shows up. What's the problem? I said, I'll show you. I turn on the water. I turn it on. Fucking Niagara Falls underneath my sink. He goes, well, there's a problem with these units. If they leak like that, it's basically junk. We can't repair it. We just got to replace it. So I'm going to get you another one. All right, so he did. So he went, he got another of the same unit. All right, installed it. This time, tested it thoroughly. Didn't seem to leak. Everything seems fine, okay? Everything seems to be going good. And like, all right, so he leaves. Now, first time in my life that I've used a food disposal or a garbage disposal. First time I've ever had a new one installed. So I don't know how they're supposed to behave when they're new. I don't know what they're supposed to look like when they're new. I don't know anything, right? I'm an ignorant guy, but, I paid a lot of money for this thing. So after having the first warranty replacement, I want to be sure this thing is working. So fast forward to like 3 weeks later, all right? And I'm looking at my food disposal, and this thing is completely rusted. The entire unit, you can see looking down into it, into the hole in the sink, it's completely rusted. It's covered in rust, right? And I'm like, is it really supposed to rust up like this within 3 weeks? I don't know. So I make a phone call to the company again, and I say, listen, now we already had a warranty replacement once. Obviously, the last thing I want is to have another warranty replacement. But I just want to know, should this be doing this? Is this a normal behavior for a food disposal to be rusted up like this after only 3 weeks? Or is this abnormal, and are all these units faulty? Should I be getting a different unit? Maybe this unit is a piece of junk and they're making them like junk now because one already broke. Maybe this one's faulty too. I just want answers. So they said, all right, here's what we're going to do. Under warranty, we're going to send out another plumber to take a look at your unit and confirm that it's working right and everything. Okay, sounds good to me. This all was 2020. This was over 3 years ago all this happened, just for clarification purposes for you guys, okay? So over 3 years ago, this is all going on. All right, so another plumber shows up, different guy. And I just happened to say to him, I said, you're not wearing the outfit from this company. I'm curious, why is that? He says, oh, because I don't really work for the company. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, that company doesn't really exist. All they are is a broker. What they do is they contact independent plumbers to do jobs, odd jobs like this. So they don't actually have any full-time employees. I happen to get the call. It's kind of like, you know what it's like? Like one of these food delivery services like Uber Eats or DoorDash. That's what the company was. They were a job broker where all they would do is they would divvy out jobs to local plumbers. So you have no idea who you're getting. You don't know the quality of the plumber you're getting. You could get someone who's incredibly high quality and cares, and someone who's a scumbag who wants to rip you off. You have no clue who you're getting when you contact this company. Okay? So, I'm like, all right, that makes sense, I guess. So can you take a look at this garbage disposal? And he says, he looks at his notes, because, you know, he came to my house. He looks at his notes. He goes, wait a minute. He says, I'm here because your garbage disposal has some rust in it. I go, yes. He goes, that's normal. I said, oh? He goes, yeah, that's normal. He goes, these things rust up right away. It takes about a month. And after they're rusted, they're fine. They work fine for years and years and years. It's not a concern. They're not made of like you know, rust-proof metal. They're meant to do that. It's not a big deal. You don't have to worry about it. And I was like, so why are you here? And he goes, honestly, I have no clue why they sent me. This is something that easily anyone who knows anything about the product they're selling could have told you over the phone. I don't know why they sent me out here. And I said, all right, well, can you just look at it just to be safe? All right. So he looks at it. He tests it. He goes, yup. No, it's fine. He goes, this is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with this unit at all. This should last you years and years. You're good. Okay. Have a nice day. Thanks for stopping by. My concerns are now assuaded. No big deal. 10 minutes later. The hell? I open the door. It's the plumber. The guy, I'm not kidding you. This is him standing at my door. He's going just like this. And I say, what's wrong? Why are you back? He goes, I really don't want to do this, but the company who contracted me to come out here is telling me they're having me demand that you pay them $75 for this visit. And I said, what? He goes, yeah. So basically, they're demanding that you pay $75 that I came out here because I came out here for a warranty reason. And since there's nothing wrong with the unit, now you have to pay for the visit. I said, are they out of their fucking minds? I didn't ask you to come out here. I had a simple question. I called them to ask about the unit. They opted to send you out here under warranty. I had to take time out of my day for you to come out here. I would have rather you didn't come out here. I would have just liked to talk to you over the phone. All right? So I said to him, under no circumstances is I paying this company any more money. It sounds to me like they're pretty underhanded the way they work. I'm done with this company. And he goes, I completely understand. Have a nice day. And he walked away. All right? And that was it. 2 weeks later, I get a voicemail from this company. Sir, we just want to let you know that as of today, your warranty with us is now void because you refused to pay for service. So you no longer have a warranty with our company. Don't contact us again for work. Have a nice day. That's the voicemail they left me. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, I'm not disclosing to you how much I paid this company. I paid them a lot of money for this. Okay? What kind of a company is this? It's a scam company. They don't have any full-time employees. They broker out jobs to people they don't even know if the work is good. And then they try to pull shit like this to make extra money. Because a regular person probably wouldn't have disputed it. They would have said, all right, whatever, I don't want any trouble. Here, take $75, leave me alone. Me, I'm not going to pay that. Like, fuck off. I'm not paying that. I'm not crazy. I'm not stupid. Right? So, yeah, they completely tried to scam me out of money for no reason. They easily could have just said on the phone, yeah, they rust up, it's fine, have a nice day. But they sent someone out to make money for no reason. Okay? It's pretty ridiculous, right? So, officially, as of 3 years ago, I had never dealt with this company ever again. All right? So, you know, have I had other issues, or have I had other, I shouldn't say issues, have I had other interactions with plumbers? I have since then. They've been fairly pleasant, other companies. So now fast forward to today, all right, to the modern day, and for 3 years, have I had issues with my food waste disposal unit? Well, nothing major. It's worked, and every once in a while what happens is if we put too much of something down there, we put too many, like for example, sometimes we'll get herbs, we'll get like cilantro, or we'll get like parsley, and if we have some extra and we try to throw it in there, sometimes it clogs it up. And what happens is you have to basically clear it up by doing various different things. You could try plunging, you could try putting in baking soda, and it'll clean it up after a bit. It's happened a few times. It's not a huge deal. When it happens, it's annoying. I've told some stories of big eruptions of things in the sink and stuff like that. But in general, it's not that big of a deal. You can figure out how to clean it up with a little bit of research, okay? So the other day, it's my day off. It's Thursday, and I happen to be cleaning out the fridge from the week before, because I'm going to go, grocery shopping to make room for the new groceries for the week and all the ingredients and things we need for this week's dinners, because we home cook every day. And I'm throwing some veggies down into the thing, and all of a sudden it clogs up. And I'm like, oh, again, here we go, this fucking thing. I wish it was foolproof. I wish it worked all the time. It doesn't. So, maybe it's because I didn't get the good one. Maybe it's because I kept replacing it with the same old model that's kind of a lower end model. Maybe that's what it is, right? So anyway, here I go. I'm fucking I'm pumping the thing. I'm trying to get it clean. So eventually it does seem like it got cleaned, right? I go to turn it on, and it goes, like it sounds like there's giant pieces of metal grinding and slamming against each other. I'm like, oh shit. I turn it off, and I open the cabinets. It has sprayed veggie water everywhere inside the cabinet, covering everything under there in a green mist. Just mulch coming out of the fucking thing. And I'm like, oh, no. It's like, dude, I just replaced this 3 years ago. These things are supposed to last a while. They're not supposed to last 1, 2, 3 years. These things are expensive. This should have lasted me a long time. Okay? So, basically, by the way, a non-moderator, please stop talking. You're completely wrong. I'm just going to tell you right now, you're 1,000,000% wrong. I don't want to stand here correcting you. You're wrong. Everything you're saying is wrong. I'm just not even going to waste time. You're wrong. Okay, continuing on. So, I'm like, dude, this is absolutely ridiculous. What am I going to do? Well, I can't call the old company, right? They're not going to deal with me anymore, which I don't want to deal with them anyway. They tried to scam me 3 years ago. Now, I have a manufacturer's warranty, and it's for 5 years. The problem is, this is the third unit of this that I've had. It's a piece of shit at this point. I know this. I know this unit is a piece of shit, okay? It's junk. There's no reason for me to have this unit again. I would be a moron to replace this with another unit. There's just no point, okay? So, I said, you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to contact a new plumber. I'm going to explain the situation, and let's see what happens, all right? So I called a completely different plumber, and they said, we'll be out this weekend as soon as possible, and this is what was going on this weekend. I needed them here as soon as possible, because if I can't get rid of food waste, all I'm doing is accumulating more and more garbage that I have to manually compost, or I have to go to the dump to get rid of myself. There's time frames how and when you can compost and all this shit. I don't have compost bags right now around the house to do this, because usually I would use my garbage disposal to do this. So I'm like, well, it is what it is. I gotta get this replaced as soon as possible. It's something essential to life out here, because we're a green state. I need it. So the earliest they could have come was Saturday, and they had different time. I can come as soon as possible, right? So honestly, that's what was going on yesterday. It's no big crazy conspiracy. It's something so mundane. Yes, I'm sure really the moronic, obsessed idiots would want to call the plumber, right? Because they're so fucking stupid. If they saw the number on the screen, they would have called the fucking plumber, because they're fucking morons. Okay? Anyway. So, here's what happened yesterday. All right? They came out here. They show up. There's two plumbers, and they're both in full head-to-toe garb, branded with the company they work for. Immediately, this is a good sign, right? Immediately, this is a good sign. I'm like, they actually work for the company. They're responsible. You know what I'm saying? So, they come, I explain the situation. They say, all right, let's test it. They turn it on. They turn on the water. Fucking Niagara Falls. It's just, psh, and they go, yep. They go, once again, these things, when they break like this, they're not really fixable. You need a new one. And I'm like, again, I was like, dude, I just fucking bought one 3 years ago, and it was so expensive. And he said, well, again, here's your options. We could easily replace this with the same model. I said, no. No, absolutely not. Not in any fucking circumstance am I going to be replacing this with the same model. I'd be a nut job. I've been through this 3 times. I don't want this fucking model in my house. I want to take this thing and punt it into space. It's a piece of shit. All right? So they said, we can get you the better model. It's more expensive, but it's the better model. I said, we're going to do that for sure. Give me a higher end model that's meant for better capacity, that's going to last better and everything. They bring the thing in. This thing is, I'm not kidding you, more than twice the size of my old food disposal. It's like a beast, a big chunky ass thing. Like, damn. So that thing's going to really, it probably has extra, and I read the box on it and everything, and even said, this one has like double the blade capacity and everything inside. It's meant to completely demolish food. It's meant to be the high grade home unit. You know, there's other better ones that are meant for businesses, but this is like the high end home unit. All right. So they get to work. Now, what do I notice the difference between this time around and 3 years ago? Guess what they did? They disassembled all the pipes. They disassembled the ring in the sink. They installed everything fresh from scratch. So I've got a brand new shiny steel ring in the sink. I got brand new PVC pipe installed fresh. They wanted everything done correctly and professionally. Because think about it this way. That guy 3 years ago who did that job for me, he left everything there. So that pipe could have easily been full of disgusting, decaying food, build up waste, and he didn't give 2 fucks. As long as he just swapped the unit out, got his paycheck, and get out of there, he didn't care. Who cares if it works more than a week, right? But these guys were like, yeah, we're getting paid to do the work. We're going to do the work. So they were here for over an hour replacing everything, which I really appreciated. Because honestly, you want to know the truth? It was just slightly more expensive than the job I had done 3 years ago for the much better unit and to have everything replaced. So basically, this time I got what I paid for. Last time I got completely ripped off. Yeah. So, yeah, this time around I feel much better about it. And let me tell you, when they were done, you turn this thing on, it's quiet, way quieter than the old unit. And like I said, I haven't really used it yet. It's brand new. And we're not, we'll really, the test will be like later this week when we go grocery shopping and we're doing stuff like that. But basically, we're like, wow, this is interesting because what a different experience, a completely different experience from start to finish with the company, a much better unit that I now have, and they replaced everything. So now it's like starting with fresh piping and everything. This is going to last longer. It's not going to clog up or whatever right away. So, there you go. I was like, wow, want to talk about different, right? Now, of course, the bummer is the price. But here's the thing, because here's what complete assholes like to say about me on the internet. Well, Phil's going to give you a sob story tomorrow where he's begging for money to pay. I'm not doing shit. Listen, you guys have been amazing. You guys this year in particular have attended my streams. You've supported my content. You've been nothing but great to me. I'm asking you for nothing. This is just a story I'm telling you because it's something to tell on the podcast, and it affected the streams this weekend. There's no fundraiser for this event. There's nothing. I paid what I paid. It is what it is, But please have some understanding, all right? Here's the understanding. This is why I can't rush to buy a $3,000 PC upgrade. This is exactly the reason why. When my tire gets stolen off of my car and I end up spending ridiculous amounts of money to replace it, when this happens and now I got to dump so much money to get this fixed, this is exactly why I can't do the upgrades that people are always wondering. Why doesn't Phil just go out and dump a bunch of money into a new PC or whatever? This is exactly why. Because this stuff keeps happening. And this is life. This is not, this is something, this happens in life. Shit happens. And let me tell you, I'm happy now. Here's why I'm happy. I'm not happy because I'm pissing the money down the drain for this stuff, which I can't avoid. But I'm happy that now I'm in a position where, because of your level of support, and because I'm 3 years removed from a bankruptcy, right, I can now afford this stuff. I have some funds and or the ability to pay for this stuff when it comes up. 3 years ago, I couldn't. 3 years ago, this stuff coming up was killing me. I had to say, hey, guys, can we do a special fundraiser because something happened, I need to pay for it? I don't have to do that anymore. That feels so refreshing. It does. It's very refreshing to say, I can just have the ability to take care of this stuff when I need to. That doesn't feel good when I have to dump the money to pay for it, because it does feel like pain. Oh my God, it's my hard-earned money going away for something stupid, for a fucking trash disposal that should have worked for 10 years and it only worked for 3, for a tire stolen off my goddamn car. because of the crime out here is so bad and no one's doing anything about it, right? But at least I'm in a situation where I can handle it. I don't need to sit here and do a special fundraiser marathon. But the funny part about that is my shithead, shitbag haters will say the opposite. You see, he e-begged for this and he did that. It didn't happen, right? Yeah, 3 years ago that stuff was happening because I had no money and no credit and I was in the middle of a bankruptcy and I had no way to pay for anything. Absolutely, that was my lowest of my low in my financial life. I haven't done anything like that in 100 fucking years, but they don't want to act like that's the case. Instead, they want to act like that's forever. Just like they want to act like things I said 10, 15 years ago were things I said yesterday. And they make highlights of the negative stuff from my past and they put it out to companies to try to get me canceled and shit. This is exactly the kind of behavior that they engage in. So all I would say is don't listen to their bullshit. Don't buy into their horse shit. All right? It's that simple. This is something mundane and normal. It happens to everyone. It's not a big deal. It's not to be dwelled on forever. It's not to be memed in a stupid fucking way. I'm not asking you for a penny for it. It's just life. Shit happens. Because you support my content so well during the good times, when a bad, shitty time like this happens, I can handle it. If something went horribly, horribly wrong, I would let you know. But this is just normal life, man. When you're an adult, and this is something that if you're younger, you may not understand. But when you're an adult and you have your own place and you have a family and this kind of shit will just happen. And you gotta roll with it. You can't get upset about it. You can't get so infuriated and angry at it. You say, you know what? I've learned to live with it. It's just, it's life. Whenever you think you can do one thing, you can't. Like, I'll give you an example. My fucking dishwasher has been broken for a year now. It broke, what, last fall? And every single time that I think, oh, I'm going to save up enough money to possibly get a replacement dishwasher, here it comes again. Here's something else that's gone wrong, right? That I have to put the money into. It literally has happened, I'm not kidding you, 3 times in the last year. I thought I had saved up enough funds to replace my dishwasher. And every time that I'm ready, I'm like, all right, maybe we're going to go to an appliance store this week on our day off, and we'll start looking at appliances, and if we find a good one, nope, because then here we go, here comes something that happens, and that's the end of that. You know, there's nothing you can really do. Really, there's nothing you can really do. Home ownership, you got to deal with this kind of stuff. Living in the United States where there's crime and shit, you've got to deal with this kind of stuff. You just get to the point where you're like, well, as long as you can handle it, and as long as it's not life-crippling shit. You know, my house didn't burn down. My family is healthy. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta be happy for what I got. It sucks that I had to drop so much money in the last several months on horse shit. A fucking stolen tire, and an entire rim off of my car, entire wheel assembly. I mean, what the fuck? Who would have thought that would have ever happened? And I gotta pay for that out of pocket. Now this going on, and I gotta pay for that out of pocket, right? It's bullshit. But it's life, and you learn to roll with it. And sorry that it affected the streams. I didn't want it to affect the streams. But the bottom line is, if I didn't get this fixed right away, it would have just become a compounding problem. I would have had too much trash. I would have had to start working on heavy-duty composting. And it's like, fuck this. I need this thing. This is what everyone uses in Washington State. I need one right away, a replacement. This is how it works here. All right? So, you know, sorry that we did have to swap the streams around and that Final Fantasy was affected yesterday. Now, was it some crazy conspiracy story? No, it wasn't. It was a little entertaining to tell you the backstory of how I got scammed by a bad plumbing company, wasn't it? That was pretty entertaining, I think. But outside of that, you know, it's not a big deal, you know? And I'm just happy that at the other end of the day, I have a better unit now. It seems to be working really well. And now we move forward positively. I don't have to talk about it anymore, you know? I'm happy. So, it sucks that I had to spend the money, but that's about the only downside to it, and I'm good. There's no fucking crazy fundraiser here for it. We're good. All right, we move forward normally, you know? Hey, you want to support my content? Please do. Like I said, this weekend already is a slow weekend. I knew yesterday was going to be slow, and now today is absolutely going to be slow. We got one stream today. That's it. Please support if you can. But I'm not going to go crazy asking you for anything above and beyond because you guys are awesome to me already, you know? So thank you for that. And thanks for listening to the story, and I hope you found it entertaining. And I will repeat myself one more time. It's time to start calling out the crazy people on the internet. No one had any right to try to see the phone number on my fucking cell phone screen and try to contact the people on the other end of the phone. That's insanity. Please call it out when you see it. It's about time. It's time to say, no, stop your madness. Stop harassing Phil and his family. You're nuts. Seek help. Because if more people would actually step up and say that, then these people would be fucking embarrassed. And they would realize what an embarrassment they are to humanity. And they would probably move on with their lives. But instead, you have so many enablers on the internet. Oh, yeah. Every little snippet, every little piece, every little thing you can get. Let's do it. Let's be intrusive. Let's ruin people's lives. No. It's time, as an internet community, it's time to step up and stop this fucking insanity. It has to end. No more allowing people to try to actually ruin people's lives for fun and jollies. It has to stop at some point. You know, like I said, if that behavior was engaged in real life, in person, there would be restraining orders out the fucking ass and people would be arrested. But because it's online, it's all just allowed, right? No, it's not. It's sick behavior. I was already going to tell you the story today. There's no reason to try to call, you know, this kind of shit. I mean, how ridiculous. Look at what's happened with this car stuff. Last year, right? I had a car repair that was necessary. My car wouldn't start. I told you the basic story, gave you no details. They called every fucking car repair place in like a 5-mile radius, impersonating me, trying to get them to send them the invoice for the work. That's not normal behavior. It shouldn't be rewarded. It shouldn't be applauded. It should be, what the fuck is your problem? You should be an outcast of society because you're a low-life scumbag trying to get private information and ruin people's lives. You should be shunned from the internet, not rewarded for your fucked up behavior. How would you like it if someone did that to you? If everything in your life, the people were trying to bore into it for no good fucking reason? What would have been the point of someone calling the plumber? But that's how messed up these people are. It has to end. At some point, it has to end. And now I'm being serious about it. It's time for all of us who are logic-minded, who are like, I would not want that to happen to myself or my family member, to speak up about it. Stop this madness. This should not be allowed. There's one difference. Okay, you want to make fun of Darkside Phil because he said something stupid on a stream. You want to make fun of Darkside Phil because his gameplay sucks in Street Fighter 6 and he raged when he was playing. Or you don't like his opinions on Zelda Tears of the Kingdom or anything like that. That's all fair game. Every day that I'm on the internet and I put content out, it's eligible to be criticized, micromanaged, even derided. But when you try to go into my private life for no reason besides I just like to fucking hurt people, that's time for people to step up and say, let's end it. Let's intervene and let's end this madness. It should not be allowed. On the internet, on YouTube, on Twitch, wherever it's happening, it should never be allowed. It should be completely stopped, and people need to call it out for the madness it is. It's not normal human behavior to be trying to hurt someone in a stalkerish mentality. It needs to be stopped. All right? Okay. Yikes. So it's really pathetic, embarrassing for the entire human race that I have to say something like that. Like you wouldn't just know that, right? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to shout-outs. We start today on the YouTube side of things with Lunch Meat, who just did a super chat and says, put this towards the dishwasher pimp. Well, thank you, Lunch Meat. I appreciate that. It's funny because I've been having the conversation with both my parents and my wife about the dishwasher. And every time we're like, you know, it's a good thing we didn't replace it because every time that I look to do it, something else happens and the money has to go to that. And at this rate, it was last fall when it broke and we were looking to have it replaced around Christmas. I mean, we'll be lucky to have it replaced by this Christmas at this rate. You know what I mean? Like, we're so used to it not being broken and not working that we might as well just accept that we're maybe it's cursed. Maybe we're just not meant to have a dishwasher or something. I don't know. I really just don't know. It's pretty crazy. In reality, it's been this long and things just keep happening constantly, right? So anyway, thank you, Lunch Meat, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Okay. Let's do shout outs here. We start off today with an overnight $30 tip from Game Trekker. Thank you very much, Game Trekker. He always tips for React Day. Even before Street Fighter 6 came out, he always did a tip for my React Day. and that's very much appreciated, Game Checker. Incidentally, it's a Final Fantasy 16 animation now for a $30 tip. So thank you very much, Game Checker. Let's get you up on the leaderboard, and let's see what he has to say. Okay, Game Checker says, React Day again, but my tip message is all about Street Fighter. The Blanca Bonanza was a stunning success. I even left a comment on part 3 with some timestamps for a moment that strikes me as a YouTube short style material. 2 things to mention. First, in case no one told you already, the reason Ken was able to OD uppercut after your perfect parry was because you can special cancel when striking a parrying opponent, just like you can on hit or block, even if it's a perfect parry. Should that be the case, it beats me. I'm just the messenger. No. Perfect parry, if you're timing something, absolutely frame perfectly. To the point where the game even rewards you by freezing the screen saying, hey, congratulations, you timed it right. Now it's your turn to strike back and get a punish on that. They shouldn't then be able to spam another move after that beats your punish attempt. It's absolutely fucking ludicrous, and it leads to situations like that where people can literally just spam shit and get away with it. In which case, why would you ever do a move, ever, when you parry Ken? You're literally stuck peripherally parrying and never doing anything afterward. You just are never rewarded for parrying against Ken because at any moment he'll cancel into OD Dragon Punch, right? So it should be fixed. In my opinion, that's complete horseshit. That should be changed. All right. He says, second, I feel obligated to comment when you got tilted in the last hour of your first stream because it was one of the worst moments that I've seen you do in Street Fighter 6. You were massively ahead on wins. And then, hold on. Then, when you were tilted, it had you making dumb decision after dumb decision, lowering your win percentage by at least 10%. Next time that you rage, take a moment before looking for the next opponent. You're right. He's absolutely right. When I get so heated about a bullshit loss, what I should actually do is take the headphones off, take the hat and glasses if I have them on, take them off, put down the joystick, and get up and walk around for a couple minutes and talk with you guys for a couple minutes. I need to do this. Starting tomorrow. I mean it. Tomorrow, if you guys see me getting tilted playing Street Fighter 6 like that, you got to say, Phil, take a break. Take a quick break. Do it now. It's for your best. Don't keep going, because if you keep going, you're going to lose. You're right. Game Checker is 1,000,000% correct. That's even what Diaphone said. You're all right. That is something on me when I get so upset about shit like that. Right? So, yes, absolutely 1,000,000% agree with Game Checker here. And I hope that people will help me to remember to do that moving forward, because I don't want to throw what I got going. You know, just because I lost one set to some spammy ass bullshit doesn't mean it's going to continue, and certainly doesn't mean that I should throw away all that good gameplay and lose endlessly now because I'm so upset. You know what I'm saying? 1,000,000% agree, thumbs up. Okay. I received a $1 tip. So, someone says, on your anniversary marathon stream that's coming up in August, would you consider playing a game called Only Up? I thought it would fit the theme of your success, how you've improved. It's a PC game, so you have to climb obstacles up a space. See, again, it's a PC game. The answer is no. Sorry, the answer is no. I can't do PC games. I'm not equipped for it. I'm not set up for it. If it was on consoles, I would say I would consider any game. But since it's a PC-only game, sadly, the answer is no. It sucks, but that's just reality. Okay? Okay. I know. Listen. By the way, again, I'm gonna say something. Don't take it the wrong way. Some people in the last year have dabbled in the idea of donating me a Steam Deck. This would be an opportunity where, yeah, if I had a Steam Deck, I could likely find a way to hook it up to my setup, and we could play games like that then. You see? But I'm not asking for a Steam Deck. I don't want anyone to say, oh, well, Phil's asking for a Steam Deck now, and I gotta set. No. This is just an idea. If someone's looking to contribute, if you wanted to help and say that's a good idea, he could play various PC games like this from time to time that people ask him to use or ask him to play, that would be a great use for it in my content. But it's not essential to my content. It's not needed. It's only if someone had an idea, maybe you want to do something like that. That's up to you. You know, but all I'm saying is people have asked, yeah, the answer is yes in a case like this. Or how about Chrono Trigger, which I wanted to play now for 2-3 years, and there's no viable console way to play it, but I heard it's on PC. So, you know, Steam Deck would solve those issues, you see? But, again, I don't want anyone going out of their way for it. I really don't, okay? All right, let's continue. I got a $1 tip. Okay, it's a moron. Just ignore them. Wow, I received an incredibly generous $50 tip from Dan the Man. Thank you so much to Dan the Man for a very, very generous tip. Now, this animation is awesome, but I finished Diablo 4 last night, so I don't know if we want to keep this animation or not. I think this animation is great. I think we should keep it, but I'll leave it to you guys to determine if you want to keep it or not. So thank you to Dan the Man for a $50 tip. And he says, hey, Phil, what's going on, Dan the Man? How are you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for your support today. I really appreciate that. Particularly, like I said, on React days, my stream for the React is usually very, very low supported once we get to the React content. So I appreciate people supporting during the podcast today. Okay? Derek says, the last Amnesia game I played was Amnesia Rebirth in October 2020. Gotcha. You know what's funny? It doesn't feel like that long ago. It feels like it was like a year or two ago, but I guess it was almost 3 years ago. Wow. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago. Jeez. Okay. Gunner Glasses time for you guys. All right. And that is it. There we go. That's where we are for now anyway. All right. So here's the thing. It's 12:30 already. And quite honestly, I wish I could go longer on today's show. The problem is, today is React Day. And when I do React Day, I need to have ample time for the React show. We didn't even get to do Q&A or anything today, which kind of sucks. I wish I could have. But we're completely and utterly out of time. So there's not much I can do about it. All right? If I had time, I would love to sit here and field questions from you guys. You know that. But we went long with the story. So what I will say is for today... Oh, by the way, Anso Kamara says, only up is a streamer bait type of game that you really hate, but it's fun. I don't really hate those games. Like, I've played... Remember that game, what was the game where you had to climb, but the guy only had, like, one arm or something crazy like that? I can't remember what it was called. I've played games like that before in the past, many years ago, but it's just that I'm not going to sink an insane amount of time to it. You know what I mean? Like, if I want to play that, it'll be like a one-off thing or a silly thing. It's not going to be something I go crazy for. Getting over it. That's what it was called. Getting over it. There you go. Okay. All right. So, guys, thank you for watching the Level 1 podcast. It's time for us to get to the React show. I appreciate you all chilling here with me today. Thanks for listening to the story. Tomorrow, I promise you, we get back to normality. Tomorrow, we got full-time gameplay all day long. We got some Street Fighter 6. We got Endgame Zelda. We got good stuff coming tomorrow. Apologies for those here on DSPGaming who are like, where's the gameplay? Yeah, there's nothing today. Get opportunity to get caught up on everything I've done. And I will see you all tomorrow for the fun. Sound good? All right, guys. Thank you all. I appreciate you watching the show. I appreciate you supporting the show. And I appreciate you in general. Thank you. And I will see you tomorrow for another awesome streaming day. Peace out and see you then. Ooh, see you then.